Krila, first up. Hello. Mike, hello. Remind me, guys, where you guys are located. I want to see what the time difference is. Did I say Mike? Well, at least I remember the M and A and the K. So what? M 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, 75% right. Now, come on now. Hello, Mark. You are located in what? In a wet campsite with my 2 boys. Oh, really? So 9 p.m. and barbecue won't light. Well, just cook it in the oven and bring it outside. Is it raining, you said? Wet camp? What do you mean wet camp? Are you actually in a camp, or you're in your own backyard and you're camping or pretending to be camping? Excuse me. Hello, Tanya. It's been a while, Tanya, yeah? Since you were here last. Rainy. Hello, Roxana. How are you, dear? Must be late in Iran right now. It's 12 midnight or 11:30 or 12:30. What do you guys think about me not uploading every day? Would that entice you guys, or you think others, subscribers, to pay attention more? Or is it now just like something that every day it shows up as an upload and no longer, unless you need to and the title suits your concern, addresses your concern, you wouldn't care? Hello, Michael. Prost. Oh, 4 p.m. in Bahamas, Tanya. Ah. Wow, it's a nice place. Hello, David. 23 Dallas mail. See, I know it already because you've done such a good job in observing the protocol every time. Hello, Aso. Aso says, hey, Mehran, I'm so suicidal. What do you mean? What kind of nonsense is that? You, such a wise girl, informed, caring, smart people like you don't talk such nonsense. You're a great girl, and people with wisdom don't let such things come out of their mouth or entertain such things. I hope you're joking, but the joke of it even is not becoming of someone like you with good caliber and good character. David says, well, I do notice that the non-live videos always get more attention. Really? I'm talking about the, I see, non-live uploads. Yes, they do. They do. And I wonder why. Because some of the live talk trims uploads have good thumbnails, and the title's supposed to be addressing something important, and the talk is a talk. I wonder why that is. Mike says, hello Mehran, once a week would give you time to think of different subjects. Well, you know, every couple of weeks I come up with something that I've got lots of material that I want to put. I don't have the time for it, and I don't want to, you know, unless I see a real encouragement by the numbers that are subscribing or attention or the views that I get on very good videos that I already have. I don't want to keep bringing up new things if it's not appreciated in the meaning of viewers and show me the statistics. So there's no shortage of material that I can share with people, but people are still looking for answers, and the live talks, they may not want to sit and watch the whole 2-3 hours, so I trim them if I can for the ones that I think it would be helpful to many. But I don't know. We haven't gotten the results that I've been hoping for. Kalani, aloha. There we go. Thank you. 26 from Hawaiian Islands. Yes. Good to see you, Kalani. Mike says 61 years old, male, California, US. Thank you, Mike. Good to see you here. Michael says, sorry, 38 male, German. Guten Tag or guten Abend. Living in France. Oh, bonsoir. Bonjour. Comment ça va aujourd'hui? I don't know which language I should try with you, Michael. So Michael is German, 38, living in France. Asso says, I need to contact human rights agencies about my situation. I just don't know how. Also, I'm scared to reach them only to know they can help or something. You see, I'm so helpless. I don't understand. Why would you be afraid to call authorities for help? Anyhow, whatever the situation is, it doesn't warrant such words and you know, reference to things that it's not becoming of a smart girl like you. What do you mean suicide? That's none. That just don't talk like that. You're too smart for that kind of stuff. Figure things out. That's what life is all about. It's not a bloody holiday always. You take a journey with a car or with any vehicle, you will meet all kinds of circumstances on the road, from bad roads to thieves, places you want to eat and they cheat you or steal your handbag, people who want to rob you or attack you or kidnap you. This is the world we live in. It's always things like that, depending on how alert you are and how you handle the situation. They're all part of this whole damn thing, the life that we live in. With every notion of misfortune and challenge, we talk about, you know, ending our life. What the hell? It's like, what does that solve? That's the worst of everything. So we're not going to handle the little things, supposedly, but we are willing, in order not to deal or endure the little things, to actually bring a bigger harm to ourselves. Does that make sense? I don't think so. On that note, let's go to El Hajj. El Hajj says, hello sir, I'm 23 from Minnesota. Why do girls play games? I'm in a long distance relationship. She said that she loves me but don't communicate with me that much. Who cares? What do you care? What does it matter if she communicates with you? You go on and live your life. Do your things. Don't hang around for what will satisfy your pleasure. What do you care about? What do you know about her that you really want her so much? What? You've had few conversations and gives you pleasure, makes you feel like you're worth something. Go get that worth from building something, accomplishing something, meeting your goals, preparing yourself for life. You're 23 years old, for God's sake. Why do you think that everything should be handed to you right there? Like, why do you think searching for a pearl should be so easy? Therefore, why do you think this girl, I don't know who she is, suddenly is a pearl to you? Because you have nothing else to compare with, and you haven't made anything out of yourself to feel that you deserve something better, and you're in a rush to prove to your, I don't know, parents, friends, that you have a girlfriend, that you have found a wife. What? Because you're only focused on the pleasure, on the sex. You see, the me is the most important thing. The you. The me for everybody, anybody. The me is the most important thing. And your whole life is based on pleasure. Everything you do is based on pleasure. So if the most pleasurable thing of the pleasures that you're seeking is intimacy and sex and woman, and the me is the most important thing in your life, you, therefore what you want is the most important thing, and from all the things that you want, the pleasure of sex is the most important pleasure, then of course you won't be able to deny yourself, or you think that's the one you have to focus 100%, go for it. And if it's not working, then you got to be devastated. But you got to see, it's not the girl that you want. You want the pleasure that the girl can provide for you. And the pleasure is what your whole life, the base of your life is set on. And the me is the most important thing in your life. And the me, the most important thing in life, wants pleasure. And the most important pleasure is, for you, sex, intimacy. And if it's not happening the way you want it to happen, you think, oh, hell has broken loose. Everything is bad. But understand, it's not the girl that is an anomaly that you have to have because she's so great. It's the pleasure that you receive from the girl that makes you think that the girl is actually what you have to die for. It's the pleasure. that you're impatient for not happening the way you want it to happen right now. If you understand that, then you will let go the girl easily. If she's not communicating, it's okay, not interested. Because what I'm looking for is the pleasure that I could receive through this interaction and relationship with this woman. Otherwise, the woman herself hasn't done anything special to make me really think she's so great. Look at it. She doesn't even communicate with me. So why is it that you still want her? Because it's not her that you think she's all that. It's the pleasure that you have your eyes set on that makes you all out of whack. When you understand that, then you can know that that pleasure can be fulfilled through other relationships and other possibilities. So, chill. But this whole feeling of, I gotta hunt, I gotta win, I just, gotta bite on the, fish line, and I don't want to let it go, and you've spent some time and energy and interaction with her, and you sniff this success like the greyhound is running after a rabbit, and it's running and running, and that's the rabbit he wants. Even if there are other rabbits all around there, it doesn't care, because that's the one he thinks he's got the best chance with, because he's already made some advances toward it. And this is how most men think when they get to know a girl, and they get so devastated when it's not working, instead of focusing on the fact that she's obviously not compatible. So why is it that you still want her? Because you are focusing on the pleasure that you would receive through her, not the person herself, who she is, what she has accomplished, what she's done for this world, what she can do for this world, what she's doing for you, what has she done for herself. None of that matters. Only focusing on the pleasure. Obviously, you think that she's all that, because all you see in her and in a relationship with her, the reason you want her is pleasure. Get over that, then you will be clear to see, okay, wasting my time for what? So, you thinking that the pleasure is turning her back on you. You are thinking that pleasure is not communicating with you. You're not thinking that she's not communicating with you. You're not pissed off that she's not communicating with you. You're upset and stressed because you think, because she represents pleasure to you and she's not communicating, you think you're missing a chance to acquire and interact with pleasure. That's two different things. Separate the person from the pleasure. Then you will see why she is or she's not qualified, and why you should turn around and build your life and move on, or not. All right. Let's talk to Mark, 34 UK. I have another book today. You have another, another book. Oh, you do? Oh, God help us. Let me just have some tea then. I realize since things ended with my ex, he says, that some of my anxiety is not knowing if or when I'll meet someone again. Yeah, I have a video on that. Go on, search. Will it be as good as this was? Will I find another girl? Will there be another relationship? Is this final? Things like that. The things that I just said. If you try each one of them, you will get a bunch of videos. And one of them would be that what you just asked. Not knowing if or when I will meet someone else. Yeah, the whole life is not knowing. So what's new there? Did you think that when you were born there was a little booklet beside that came with you that you're supposed to be paging through and knowing what things are ahead, so you'll be having certainty? You know, everybody's looking for certainty in life, which brings psychological security, the elusive psychological security. But there is no such thing. There is none. So understand, the life that you are negotiating is not supposed to be looked at as if you're walking on solid ground. Because if you think life is a solid ground, then you expect everything to be balanced and solid and unchanged as you expected it to be when you are walking on it, when you're negotiating, when you're traveling through it. So you will be shocked with unexpected things, deviations. You will be shocked with instabilities because you thought you're walking on solid ground, so it should be stable. But when you think life is like walking on water or being in a boat on an ocean, you will always expect ups and downs. So these ups and downs will not throw you off and will not make you think, oh, something devastating is happening. You will expect it. So ups and downs will not be unexpected, will be an expected event. Therefore, things, curveballs that life throws at you, it won't really affect you that much. But if you think life is supposed to be so stable and I forgot the word, but so stable and what's the word? Predictable, then you will be shocked every time that you see it's not, and most often it's not. So let's go to the second part. If I knew it was in a year or two, I would just enjoy life and get on with things, and not knowing is stopping me from being as present in the moment of life. Well, why do you have to know that it's going to happen in a year or two? Knowing what's going to happen in a year or two, it's like wishing for death. Because the whole life is about a journey, and a journey is unknown what's ahead on the road. Maybe a restaurant, maybe a place, scenic drive, maybe a scenic spot, maybe a place to have tea, maybe a coffee shop, maybe wild animals, maybe broken road, maybe you know, falling rocks from the mountain. You don't know. But if you're supposed to know, that means you're already at the end of the journey, the destination. Which in life, there is no one destination. There's always other destinations after you reached a certain address or certain intention, certain plan. There's always other things you want to do. But if you're supposed to know the end of everything, how it's going to be, well, that's when there is no other destination, which is death. So why would you want to know all that? Why don't you just enjoy what you do know, which is now, today, this moment? Build on that. Yesterday is past. Tomorrow is but a promise. Doesn't exist. Today is the reality. Build what you can do today. And let these todays all accumulate. Hence, accumulate your efforts that you make on each day. Hence, accumulate the enjoyments that you will have on each day as well. Hence, you will end up with accumulation of a wonderful life when a few years passes by. Otherwise, waiting until the few years passes by and you will attain a certain goal and what you were looking for, then you have missed all this enjoyment and the challenges and opportunities to build something in the past years that just passed and past days that just passed. Don't allow that. Focus on now. That's the only thing we've got to deal with. And Mark says, I'm continuing to focus on self-improvement. Work is going well. I get my own place again next week, and I enjoy seeing my two boys. It's just that I expect of my life, my aspect is just that one aspect of my life is still causing anxiety. Listen, you know damn well that even if you find that aspect in your life, which is your girlfriend or whatever, that's neither here nor there. how can you guarantee that someone that you haven't met, you don't know, will be as reliable, as loyal, as compatible, as in harmony with you, that you expect forever? Wasn't this past one how you thought of her when you guys were just beginning to get to know each other? Things can change. So can that, or maybe not. Either way, it's not sensible to constantly focus on thinking that one aspect of your life is the whole entirety of your life. Life has got lots of things in it. It's like an orchard. It's not one tree, peach on it. It's an orchard with apple, peach, oranges, strawberries, berries, all kinds of bushels and trees and everything on it, in it. And all that creates your life. Now you're telling me this orchard is only one tree of it that makes this orchard to be orchard. Doesn't make sense. See, my life, unless that one aspect, then the rest of it is really not. Well, the rest of it and every one of it is as important as the other one. In fact, your job and money and freedom and ability to be a good father to your boys and all that is most important than finding somebody else to go between her legs. That's pretty much all it's going to be when it ends up not working. Because you don't even know that person, but you're so helpless and impatient to meet her, as if definitely is going to be the cure for your life. You are the cure. You've got the most important elements of your life right there in front of you. Look in the mirror. It's you. If there is no you, there none of that matters. None of that happens. No concern, no nothing. So take care of you, and you are taking good care of yourself. So focus on that and allow every day to bring what it does bring, and you negotiate with it as you do, and see what will the next wave bring. You know, you never know. Did you watch the movie Castaway? The guy who was stuck on an island with nobody else in it, and one of his things that he learned was, you never know what tomorrow the waves bring. It was only him, island, the ocean. And there were things that the ocean, the wave would bring, but often it would look like there's nothing. But then something would come, because you never know. Things change. So don't get stuck on the idea of that one aspect of your life will be representing the whole entirety of the quality of your life. And that's going to be a girl. A girl? Who is she? What has she accomplished that you think she's going to be the cure of your life? Has she been the cure of her own life? No, she's coming to you for a life. Hopeful. Part of it may be herself, and the other part, she's hoping for you. But you're thinking that she's going to be the whole entirety representation of the quality and achievement of your life. That's pure bullshit. That's exactly how you fall into trouble. Give enough credit to when it's due, not more. She is part of your life, whoever's going to be. That's it. Balance. But you want to bow to pleasure because you know how wonderful that feeling is to be with a girl, hold her hand, kiss her, feel in the society that you have accomplished something, you're now a couple, and have sex with her, intimacy, the amazing feelings. And you think all that pleasure that you're focusing on is because of her. Yes, it is, but really is because you're seeking pleasure, and you are designed to enjoy and understand and appreciate and desire pleasure. That's why then she becomes important. So again, we come back to you. You are the center. And the reason for all that wonderful feelings that you will get from her, it is you that makes her so amazingly wonderful. because you have the ability to feel and appreciate pleasure, interaction with her, sex with her. That's how you're put together. You know, so if you understand that, then you'll be a little bit chilled and do your thing, build your life. And when that happens, it happens. Then you will assess it. Not that before you meet her, you say, oh, it doesn't matter. As long as she's a woman and she likes me and I can know her, then she must be great. Then you get disappointed. Got to qualify her. Now, and he says, I understand that the relationship is only a part of life. Oh, do you now? But just wondered if you could help with my concern from another. I just did. So I'm glad that you brought that up. And this should be a wonderful session for you that would answer your question, and you go over it if you had any questions. And of course, if you wanted to continue this discussion, you're more than happy, you're more than welcome to, and more than happy you will be to go on my site and make an appointment with me on Skype, and we'll explore it in detail. And so because, you know, this can go on for an hour discussion with this interesting topic, and most people have this sort of question, but then we got to move on to the next. Mike Bressler says, Mike, male, 61 years, US. Overall, your counsel is extremely beneficial. Please continue, and no doubt you and know or not doubt you have helped so many. Yes, and no doubt. Yes, thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate that. I do. I'm eager and interested to help people as much as I can, to open their mind for them, clear things, and let them to know a little bit more about themselves and how they function, why they feel the way they do, act and react the way they do in life, and negotiate their days the way they do. But at the same time, I need to find a way that I can reach more people, so this channel will actually do a lot more that it's doing, and to the point that I would be able to focus more time on it, and create opportunities to put up workshops around the world, whoever invites me, and help people in that way, and have a real 2-3 day workshop or discussions, and help people to really get to know what their machine is all about. Otherwise, everybody's going through negotiating life physically on the basis of their looks, the girl's looks, their possessions, what they have, how much money they have, the car, the this, the that. Everything physical is being used to negotiate, in most part, the non-physical world, life that we have. It's all about here. How you think, what you know about yourself, how you're put together, why you're affected the way you are, why you react the way you are. All of that is non-physical, is here, by understanding how you're put together. And nobody is really focusing on that, not too many people. And for that, I need to have enough subscribers to warrant this journey to accomplish its mission. And to me, the mission is to help people to become free from their problems that is mostly created by our own minds. So, but thank you very much for the kind words. I appreciate that. David says maybe a collaboration with other channels on the breakups could help, even if they aren't to your channel's standards. It would open you up to a new audience and wouldn't hurt anything. The channels, you're right, they are not, definitely they're not even close to the standards that I'm looking at and the approach that I'm making in clarifying things for people and helping them to understand what this whole thing is about and the reasons for it and all that. But imagine this, even so, the channels who are successful in number of distributors, in number of subscribers, what's in it for them? They're not interested to bring some other channel who's got deeper contents and more realistic and usable contents, which actually would demean their content. Why would they do that? Nobody would do that. And I would not feel that that is a place for me to be. I need to have the people who are actually looking for this. And so my reasoning for what I'm saying is that I want to find and reach those people who are looking for this kind of content. I don't mean just every Tom, Dick, and Harry to join this channel. I'm looking for the people who are like you guys, are interested about the challenge of life, the journey of life, and the most important asset and the machine, the vehicle that they have to take this journey with themselves, their minds. They want to know about that. That's the kind of people I want to reach. I want to have a lot more subscribers, but not just anybody. This kind of people. So for that, I'm trying to find how I can do that. And hopefully in the next 100 years, we will. Roxana says, at the moment, I'm missing that jerk crush of mine. Because you're conditioned to miss that guy because you're a woman and you like men and you like that interaction, and it's natural. And that was the one that was in the mix with you. And now you miss that interaction. It's the interaction that you're missing, not the guy. Because if the guy was the one that was missing, that would mean the guy is doing the right things and is compatible with you. If it was, you guys would be together. Because you guys are not, that means the guy is not compatible with you. And why would you want someone who's not compatible with you? You wouldn't, but you miss him. You miss him because you miss the interaction. You miss the exchange. And that's what you're missing. And that will come with another possibility that will present itself. She says, not happy with it, that you missed the guy. Yeah. I just keep getting reminded of those goody-goody things he did. And when I tell my thoughts to fuck off, they will. But they come back. That's okay. You don't have to tell them to fuck off. When you resist, then there will be more persistence. Because you're focusing on what you don't want to think. When you're focusing on that, there will be more of it coming. So what you need to do is just to let it be there. You know, you pass by a street vendor and they're selling ice cream. You notice it and you pass by. Or you pass by a street and you see dog shit. You notice it, but you pass by. You don't focus on it. Ice cream, you know, tastes good. I had this. And don't let your mind follow. Keep coming back to focus of your day and what it is that you want to build. And quickly remind yourself of the files that were right there in the same cabinet that you found the memories of the goodies. There are other files there that represents bad stuff that wasn't good. That's why you didn't want it. That's why you guys broke up. You bring those up in forefront of your mind, and quickly you will see why. That ice cream that looks so good and delicious, but actually the ingredients are not good, not tasty, and there's stuff in there that will make you go to the bathroom too often. So that's a file beside an ice cream vendor in the street that you might want to focus on. So don't play with it. You pass by a dog shit, well, you recognize it, you know, you pass by. You pass by something good, you recognize it, enjoy it for a moment, and then quickly bring the files that shows you why you guys are not together. Then you move on. And just keep building your life. Look, I'm sure there are dozens of guys around that if you would just allow them or see if they're suitable or not, they will be right there to get to know you. So there's no shortage of that. I know it's a little difficult community there. It's maybe hard to meet people. But you know, people find each other. It's nobody can stop that. So move on from it. You don't have to resist it. Just say, yeah, that's how it was, and this is why I don't want it, or it's not anymore, because this wasn't all the memories that I'm remembering. There were other shit in there that I don't want. So then you will be okay, and you move on. Don't resist it. Just remind yourself of both parts, and then you move on. Mike says, Mike 61 US, thank you. What are your thoughts when your ex-girlfriend says that she loves you but is not in love with you? Is there a difference in the meaning or what she's trying to say? I think instead of you waiting for a definition for what she's trying to say, you see if you like that or not. And if you look at it, you're not in love with her either. You love someone, but you're not in love with her. Usually in love with someone pretty much means in lust. You know, you walk in the street and you see one gorgeous, wonderful, perfect woman in your eyes as far as your aesthetics desires, aesthetically meets your standards. You find that perfect woman, and suddenly you say, oh, I'm in love with her. You know, you don't even know her, so you can't really even love her. But you say that because it's really lust. It's not love. You can only love this woman once you get to know her. Your consciousnesses meet. You guys see each other in action in the society, in the community settings, how you interact with life and with the others and with the situations, with the challenges, with the day-to-day stuff. Then you grow fond of each other and you find things in common, and eventually maybe you fall in love. The rest of it before that is lust. So when someone tells you that I'm not in love with you, that's fine. Because you're not in love with her either. Because being in love really means being in lust. That's the only thing that it means pretty much. Because love, real love, is much deeper than being in love. But people think being in love is hotter. That means they really can't wait till they get between each other's legs. That's not the definition of love or being in love. Because the being in love that they mean is just means lust. That doesn't happen that often, other than the first few minutes or few days or few months or few years, and that's it. The whole sex becomes not an anomaly anymore, and then you guys focus on what is making this avatar function, the mentality, the consciousness, and then you will find either dislike or like in that person. And there is no in love anymore, because then your love is deep about your existence and your centers, your consciousnesses, who you are, how you think. And it's no longer about the lust to say, I'm in love with her. But you can say you're in love with the woman that you saw across the street and he was perfect for you. And that's the only time you say it. It's lust. Always in love is synonymous to in lust. That's what I think. Now, if she's not in love with you, you can realize that you're not in love with her either. Now, they may say I'm in love with you when it's not lust. That's when they really need what you do for them. So they love, or they're in love with what you do for them. They're in love with you because of the things that you do for them brings comfort. Otherwise, that whole sentence is nonsense as far as real emotion is concerned. That's a sexual emotion. So it's not really what she's trying to say. It's like you don't let that communicate to your ego, and don't be bothered by it. It's okay. As long as you love me, that's good enough, because it's the same here. I can't expect to be in love with any girl that I go out with, but I could expect to love them because I can love who they are, but I can be only in love with their body, with the pleasure that I receive from them. I'm in love with that pleasure. I'm in love with that sex. It's a lust. In lust and in love, pretty much the same. Otherwise, the higher than that is the actual love. And that comes with really knowing each other, appreciating, trusting, respecting, being together, being unselfish towards each other. That's a real love. It comes later than the stage of being in love, which is being in lust. I hope that helps clear some things for you. Mike? Mike continues, your avatar color changed. It was red, now it's kind of purplish. I thought it's a different person. Mike says, regarding your books, are the books in a format that you can listen as you drive, or just regular read type? Oh, it's a read type. I haven't turned them into audio books. That needs a little bit time and costly. And of course, if I have a robot do it, it will be just monotonous, no feelings in it. If I do it myself, that takes lots of time. The Breakup Pain Handbook is over 600 pages. Me, My Psyche and I, which is the one that I want everybody to have a copy, is about 360 pages. And Transient Thoughts and Me is, I think, close to 200 or 180 or 160. Won't be able to do that, at least not for now. Maybe I'll have eventually someday. When we have enough finances, maybe I'll have it done, but I don't think it'll be me. But the reading types are in two versions. One, printed matter, which is the actual physical book, and the other one is the ebook, which is a link that it transfers you the file. In three versions, a Mobi, an EPUB, and PDF. All come in one purchase. Taha says, what is your thoughts about jealousy from Turkey, age 18? Well, it's a big question. What is specific in jealousy? Because I have if you go on my channel and type in jealousy, you will have a video or two. And for that, let's see if I can get it for you. See, all you have to do is go to the video search and key in the word jealousy. And then you get, wow, lots of them. How to deal with jealousy. Others want me to fall. Love is a losing game. What is ego and how to drive it away? Jealousy after breakup. Maybe that's what you want. Let me put that in there for you.
Hi. Do you want to learn how to
All right.
Janet says, Mehran.
There it is. That's one I can put up for you here. There's a link, and if you just type in jealousy, you'll have other ones come up. Yeah? I'm sure you can handle that. Here, I also give you this one. So there's two for you here. I've answered your question. There we go. All right, let's move on to, where was I? Billy Hulk. That's a new name. I don't think you've ever been here, have you? Or it's been a long time, maybe. Billy says, "Hey Mehran, Bill 21 Greece. After 3 months of feeling, I finally started to feel emptiness from time to time. I wonder if it is a result from mindfulness I've been practicing for quite a while. At first I thought it was a bad thing, but now I feel like it's a good start to find new goals or just enjoy the emptiness. The pain was excruciating. I prefer emptiness. Anyway, any thoughts on that?" Well, you know, you're not really quite clear on your question for me to understand exactly what you mean. So I'm going to guess it. I think what you mean is that you were having lots of pain and suffering because of this breakup, and you cared and you missed and all that stuff. But now you're kind of numb. You don't care. You don't give a damn. You're okay with things. Your feelings are not really that pronounced. You kind of numbed up. You don't fall in love so quickly, or you don't find anybody who's qualified so easily. And you're not going around like a greyhound and a rabbit in the distance go, I gotta get that, I gotta get. You notice it and say, okay, if it was convenient, I go for it. Otherwise, who gives a damn? If that's a correct understanding of your question, that's fine. What's wrong with that? You will, in time, when you've already focused on accomplishing new things in your life and building new things and achieving some more of your goals, and create that persona again and feel real good about your accomplishments, and you feel you're more because of you, not because of attaining something or some girlfriend, then you will become a little bit more interested in bringing a new chapter in your romantic life. Right now, you kind of feel like, okay, I've had this experience and it wasn't really to my standards, so I'll just, it's like having gone to a restaurant and had a food and you got sick. And for a while, you don't want to see that kind of food, you don't want to be in that restaurant, and every time you pass by a restaurant and you see food, you're not that really gung-ho about it unless it's a different food and you made it and it seems really safe. So you're kind of gun-shy right now. It's normal. It's perfectly normal. Just don't question it. Live your life. Focus on the things that you like to do. Focus on the enjoyment of life. Focus on the challenges you have. Focus on the projects that you have. Focus on what you want to build. Bring real meaning to your life rather than the whole life is all about a relationship. The relationship is a byproduct of a successful life, a byproduct of a life that is meaningful. Then the relationship you will be choosing, if it meets your standard. Otherwise, through relationship, wanting to bring completion and perfection and a success to your life, which otherwise has not met your goals and you have not achieved what you wanted to achieve in it, it's so stupid, because you're doing a shortcut. Because every time you're successful, you want to complete it with a good relationship, have a nice girlfriend, and that tells you that you have arrived You have completed a good circle of life, in a way, a good atmosphere of life for yourself. But when things are not really as good as they should be, you rush and you haste for a girlfriend. Many of the reasons for wanting to be in a relationship with a girlfriend is obvious. But one main thing there is that you want to use a shortcut of being in a relationship, have a girlfriend, to pretend and to deduct you to conclude that you have become successful, because having a girlfriend represents, to many of our mind, to the minds of many of us, success. Having a girlfriend represents success. So when you're not really having everything set in your life the way it should be and the way you want it to be, but you rush and go nuts for wanting to have a girlfriend, and if it doesn't work and breaks up with the girlfriend that you have, you'll be devastated, because you think now that you don't have a girlfriend, you're not successful, because having a girlfriend was the only reason that you could see success in your life. So it's a shortcut to success, because having a girlfriend usually represents a kind of a balanced life in our eyes when we look at the others. So you think that when you have a girlfriend, you will also look at yourself as if you are successful, so to speak. But it's not the way it is. It's just a band-aid for a real problem. It's like fixing something with duct tape. You got to go get successful. You got to go meet your goals, attain what you want to do, accomplish what you want to do, and then choose a suitable girlfriend. Or if you have a girlfriend, don't think of her as the whole entirety of your life. And if she leaves or things don't work out, then that means you're not successful, or things have gone haywire and hell has broken loose. No, separate success with your relationship. Relationship is part of your life. It's not a representation of a successful life, because many have girlfriends and they're in a relationship and they have a shitty lives. Always arguments and incompatibility, fights, and they're not happy and all that. So a relationship can never represent success. But many of us want to take a shortcut, and you go after a girlfriend because that to you is attainable. As long as she's pretty, which she could have a mind of garbage, but she's pretty, she meets your standard for pleasure, then you think pleasure is smart, then you think you have a smart choice, and then you will get involved in that relationship, and then you think you're successful suddenly. No truth to it, because you know that's not the case. So separate pleasure and success, understand its relationship with each other, and build your life, become successful, and complete a good balanced package in the whole meaning of life. And whether you have a girlfriend, look at it as a separate part of your life, or you want to have a girlfriend, choose according to your standards and see if both have compatibility or not. And that goes with the girls as well. Anyone who wants to be in a relationship, this should be observed, that the relationship is not a sign of success. In many cases, by relationship, people are trying to take a shortcut and portray or pretend or make believe that they're successful. And that's why when they break up, when their relationship breaks up, they get devastated because they think the success has left. But there was never such thing anyhow. You made it up that having a girlfriend is success, but that was pleasure. And you turn pleasure as if it replaces all the other things that you're supposed to accomplish in life. Pleasure supposed to represent for you and replace success, lack of money, lack of education, lack of everything, because through pleasure you want to have a one answer to all problems. And that's why when that becomes the answer to all your shortcomings, when that doesn't work and she leaves or something breaks up, then you think your whole life is gone to hell, and that's when you get really devastated. So separate the relationship with your success, separate pleasure with being an answer to what you need to accomplish and attain in life, and separate pleasure from success, and you will have everything in its right place, and you will not be so fucked up when things don't go the way you want it to go and you hoped for it to go. So let's move on to Mark. Many thanks for answering my question. Great advice. I've liked the video. Okay, good. Good. Oh, guys, don't forget to like the live stream right now before you forget, because that would definitely be a right step toward the right direction for us to be more noticed. Excalibur says, Hola Mehran, hola Excalibur, ¿cómo estáis? I've missed you, he says. Well, we all missed you too. You have been absent for what? I don't know, a few times, I guess. Hopefully you're enjoying the Aston Martin and Hot Lady too. Well, listen, there is neither one in the horizon at the moment, so I'm enjoying what life has to offer. David says, you never know until you try, Mehran. Well, yeah, you're right, but sometimes you know. Maybe they would want you on just to have somebody maybe on very well interested in your content when they see you. Well, let's see how it goes, David. There is a saying that I think I said this anecdote before, that, you know, this old king 1,000 years ago gets all the ministers and the responsible people that he had around him and said, go bring me the wisdom of the world. They all gathered and had a meeting and said, okay, we got to go get the wisdom of the world. So they go and come back 6 months later, this much paper, you know, this much paper, this thick. You can see the bottom hand view. You see, yeah. Or maybe I should go this way. Yeah, this thick paper, pages and pages. And the king looked at it and said, sire, we found it. Here's the wisdom of the world, wisdom of the ages. He said, go find wisdom of the ages. They went and came back with that much paper. So he looks at it, king, and says, too much paper, too many pages. Go shorten it. They go back, took him another 6 months. They come back with this much paper. The king looks at it and says, too many pages, go. They looked at each other, the whole team goes out, 6 months later comes back with one page, say, Your Highness, we got it. Wisdom of the ages, 1 page. King looks at it and says, too many words, shorten it. They go back 6 months later, they come back, say, Highness, we got it. One sentence. Says, okay, good, give it to me. They give it to me. So you might want to all take a note of this. He sees, there's no free lunch. That's all was the wisdom of the ages. So here, David, unless there is something in it for them, they will not want to be helpful to my channel. That's obvious. And so if somebody approaches me for some program, which they did in the past, there few companies did, and I was open to them, but they simply didn't have anything to offer at the time. And the ones who did, it just didn't happen. It was a conversation, but never took. I had a German company, which is apparently some kind of a dating site or dating relationship site or problem-solving site. They contacted me a while back and they expressed interest to translate my videos on their own dime and put it up in their site as a response and solution to people's questions when they come up with that. I think they had a system where people go on their system and they find different videos or different questions. At least this is what I like to do. I don't know if that, it was all in German, so my German is not good, so I had to translate everything to figure out what they're doing. Anyhow, they disappeared and they did not follow through, and so but I'm thinking about certain ways of bringing this service to people, and I'm focusing on how I would like that to be represented, which again involves costs and investment, and they all have to wait until we have enough money, which I would then be able to present that solution to people's problems and help people in that way, and the channel would then be doing much better, I think. Roxana says, thank you so much, Mehran. That really helped me. But yeah, it's hard to find people here. Yeah. Taha says, Tots gonna be Tots. What? Let's see. Oh, I didn't know that word. I didn't know what that word meant. Taha. Tuts. I now know. Joy Smooth says, I relapsed with thinking about my ex. Well, go on my channel and says why you keep falling back and missing your ex or something like that. You have the answer there, Joey. Patrick O'Donnell says, hi Mehran, male 28, Ireland. Just want to say thank you so much for all your counsel. My ex left 2 months ago. I can say that without your channel, I would not be as far in building my confidence. Delighted to hear that. Patrick continues, I have been promoting the channel to friends going through similar and those interested in the psyche. While I'm learning more, I am worried that I cannot watch your breakup content much more because I am moving on. Life is much bigger and my boat is no longer stuck in the dock. Good. I'm headed back to the sea. Excellent. Can you recommend a way to approach the woman you like? Well, I'm not going to recommend to you to approach the woman that I like. But I know what you mean. Can you recommend a way to approach the woman you like? Just be honest. Just be honest. Because even if you come up with the charades and all the get-ups and the bullshit and the lines and pick-up lines and all these things that it's insincere in most cases, and let's say the girl reciprocates and is falling for your charm or whatever, or the bullshit, eventually you guys both, you fell for her, get up and the snapshot of her life and all dude up and everything perfect and a smile and representing happiness and success and understanding and wisdom and all that, and she fell for your bullshit and everything else that you tried to portray, and I mean bullshit in as fun. And then, but eventually, so you guys fall for each other, but eventually, a little later on, the honesty of who you are, who she is, how you are, all your behavior, mentality, and reality will show. So from the beginning, be generous in being honest. You don't have to be, if you really like her, you don't have to be too mushy about it and sticky about it. No, that's not what I mean. But be honest about not just your feeling. You don't have to be too honest about your feeling at the beginning to say to her whatever, because people don't have that depth of understanding or appreciation because they don't know you right now. It's like some girl passed by you in the street, you don't know her, you've never seen her, she says, "I love you." Do you care about that? No, because it's coming from somewhere that you don't know where the source is, what the quality of the source is, right? So unless you know her, that word, what she utters, that emotion doesn't mean it. So don't be so overly open at the beginning to express your emotions about how infatuated you are, because remember, that's mixed with lust, and it's not really your feelings, it's about your feelings about pleasure, and she's not going to really need to appreciate that or understand that, and you will think that it's her that you really love, but it's the lust and the pleasure that you're expressing your feelings towards. So keep those, but keep those for the right time. But be honest about the simplicity of life, the truth of life. Don't bullshit. Be normal. Activity is normal. Don't take her into overly expensive restaurant just to impress her. That's nonsense. Talk to her. Get to know her. Let her get to know you. You listen to what she's talking about. She's telling her story in your conversations. You tell her your story. Not the whole story. Don't blow the whole thing down. It's like somebody asks for a cup of water and you open the fire hose. Don't do that. You blow them away. Trickle as it is, proper. The questions that she asks, the concerns that she wants you to answer. A conversation. But in the conversation, whatever the topic is, be down to earth, be normal. Don't be overly, choreograph it, color it up. Don't make too big a deal out of yourself. Be realistic. And in that way, she will feel comfortable to let you know her without the bullshit of all the garbage that the couples try to impress each other just to get into each other's pants. You should be beyond that. Don't focus on sex at the beginning. That's what my suggestion to you is. See her and try to learn about her as her person, as her personality, as who she is, her center. What makes her tick? Don't think about sex. You may be interested, that's fine, that's pleasant, but don't focus on that, because that will pull a wool over her eyes and not let you see her. You will only see the pleasure and not able to go through the pleasure to see what's behind the pleasure. You got to see the ingredients. For that, you need to spill your ingredients. For that, you need to be honest, not overly, in dosages. And then, over time, but if you are talking about the beginning step, approach a woman you like, again, simple. If it's appropriate, you just go to her politely and say, "Hello, my name is so-and-so. I thought we can have a few words and get to know each other if that is something that you're also contemplating or would be interested." Simple. Don't make a big deal out of it. You know what to say. It depends on where you are. I don't know where you will meet her. Is it a street, grocery store, sporting events, a theater? I don't know where it is, or a workplace. But just a hello is enough. You can just say hi and pass by. And then next time you see, just say hi, pass by. 2-3 times hi and say, "Hey, hi, I just want to introduce myself. My name is this and that. You know. Then see where it goes. And next time, you will have other things, topics of the day. Yeah? Simple. Don't make a big deal out of it. The other suggestion I have is don't think you're talking to God. Don't think you're talking to an anomaly. Because that's the pleasure that puts you in a shy position, that you want to comply to her wishes and meet her standards. No! Don't think of her as she's representation of pleasure. Think of her, she's a person, and you are equal. That's it. She just happens to be a beautiful woman. That's all. All right. Lottie says, what do you think of men who have been imprisoned for violence against wife, remarriage without next wife, knowing their history of violence? Remarriage, I don't understand. Without next wife? Anyhow, you're saying, okay, female 40 from UK, Lottie, you're saying that if you meet a man who's been imprisoned for violence against wife, and knowing about his violent history, what should you do? I don't know if that person has realized the effect of his behavior on other people, and how tremendously wrong that behavior is. If he has been able to understand that and is now moved on to a higher level of understanding and would definitely refrain from such horrendous behavior toward another human being. I don't know what the level of it would be, but guess what? This is something you should decide. But sometimes history should be helpful about especially such matters. Mike says, I saw one of your classes where you were at a university and the young man was able to pick you up and then was not able to pick you up. It was like you were glued to the floor. Yes, it's correct. Please explain what you were able to do and how your mindset can do things. Well, I have explained that in the book Me, My Psyche and I. If you go on my site and pick up the book Me, My Psyche and I, ebook, it's, I don't know, it's $5.99 or something, very nominal. But again, as soon as I have enough possibility to create a little special setting, I would be able to explain this even further. But I have already in some videos on YouTube have explained how that works. And that is when you recognize our entity, the life that we know of, is made out of at least two things, mind and the body. And the body has its own rules and mind has its own rules, but they are in one, they're represented as one life, one entity, our life, but mind and body. Body has its own center of gravity, a point where the mass of the body is focused. On this earth, the rule of physics of this earth is that anything that you hold up, if you let it go, it goes down. So that means the weight of all objects are naturally focused at their lower point, lowest point. So weight of this thing is focused here and not here. That's why when you let it go, it falls. Well, that's the gravity, some people call it, right? But that's the law of this earth. Now, the mass of our body, our physical being, is a mass, just like this thing. So its weight is also focused at its lowest point. Now let's forgo the legs and let's imagine we're sitting down, seiza, we're sitting on our knees on the floor. Then that means we're only talking about the top part of our body for the ease of understanding. So the weight of this top part of the body that you're sitting on your knees on the floor, or at least, until your, lower part of the waist, weight of it is concentrated at its lowest point, right? Where's the lowest point? Lowest point of the body pretty much is about 10-20 centimeter lower than your navel. A hypothetical point lower in the navel. A very small point where you would touch that point physically with your finger and push in, you will have a sensation of some place in there, and then focus on that very, very small point. That's where the weight of the body is naturally fallen and concentrated, focused. But then that's the body's weight, and that's the place where the body is focused, body's weight is focused. But the mind is not like any other part of the body. Like the fingers are here, the wrist is here, elbow is here, shoulder is here, nose is here, ears here, eyes here. Everything has a place in your body. You know where everything is. But your mind doesn't have a place in your body. Your mind is all over the place. It's so agile, so capable. Is 1 minute here, the other minute in the other country, and the next minute with your, I don't know, girlfriend, or your family, or in the next minute is in Japan, or the other minute is in Mars, and just come back in a second, and next second is ready to go to moon, and so on and so forth. So the mind is all over the place. It's not like the parts of your body where you know exactly where they are located in your body. So that's why the mind and body are divided. They're not coordinated because the mind doesn't have a home. In part of that book, I've explained mind needs a home. And when you understand the mind's home and how you should focus and bring a home to the mind, then you would end up having mind and body both coordinated and using the same point of focus. Look, this is an elaborate discussion that I would prefer to another session to physically show you guys with the exercises that is related to it, for you to understand how powerful your mind can be and how you can achieve what I achieved regardless of your size or weight. Like when my son was 5 years old, and I used to teach at this martial art place, and I had later on teaching it in my own dojo, we had a demonstration that I had somebody off the floor, some big man, to come, and I asked him to lift, put his hands underneath my son's arm, a 5-year-old, and lift him up. So naturally it was easy for him to lift him up. Then a second later I asked him to do the same, and he was baffled. A 5-year-old, how could that be? Because there is a point where mind and body is coordinated together, and they become one with the energy of the nature as one, become one with nature. And there's a technique to that, which I explained part of it, but the rest of it I have to either get the book and read it in the book, or I have to stand up and try to, and that's going to be a long term discussion here. And then that tells you that it doesn't matter how much you weigh, how big you are, it's about the power of mind. And for that, you got to find out where the mind's home is in the body, and then have the mind and body both focus on the same point, which I explained to you where that point is, And then you will achieve that state where the law of physics on this earth will not apply any longer. Because the law of physics says a bigger power should be able to lift the smaller mass, which you saw in the video. But quickly, in a second, by the way you think, the whole direction of that energy, which we call ki, became under your control. And suddenly the person was not lifting you up anymore, was trying to lift the whole universe, because you were now part of it. It's like a drop of water by itself, you can lift it, put it in a bucket, but when it's joined with the ocean, it's not possible for you to put it in a bucket or lift it. So that's what really happens through the explanations I've done in the book, and also in the videos that you can search and see. Willpower, power of mind, you will find that, and the explanation is there, more complete than I did it right here. And then I forgot what I was saying, but anyhow, when you do that, then you will see that you will attain that state that you are one with the nature, and they're trying to lift the whole universe, and it's far beyond the law of physics. Anyhow, so that is an exercise that is used to show you how powerful you can be in accomplishing your tasks and meeting your challenges, rather than suddenly, for some emotional shortcomings or challenge, find yourself helpless, because you actually command yourself to be helpless, and then you would be. It's all about exercising the mind. There's lots of this discussion on this channel that I've done, also in the book, but there are lots of videos. Just go willpower, mind power, power of universal power, secrets of the universe, things like that, and you will have a bunch of these coming up. Mike, I hope that was something that you could refer to. Excalibur says, haha, Mehran, thoughts means bimbo, an empty head. Yeah, I got it. I looked it up. Billy says, thank you for your answer, for the answer. I've watching your videos. I've been watching your videos for a couple of months, and I've attended a couple of live talks you did. Keep it up. Okay, Billy, thank you. Glad you're here. Excalibur says, Mehran, did you know that shit is a technical term? It stands for secret human influence techniques. Okay. Ashish says, good morning, Mehran from India. Good morning, Ashish. It must be very late for you there. I was late today, but here we are. Lottie says, I mean, should you tell the next woman she does not know, if she does not know a man's history of violence, in that don't we have a duty to warn someone so they have the information to make an informed decision? If you know her and she's your friend, otherwise I don't, you know, would you be running? And I understand what you're saying, and it's a valid concern, but what is your motivation in that? How do you know they haven't talked about it themselves? How do you know he has not changed? Or maybe you're right, you should let her know, depending on the, you know, how much you know and how much she doesn't know. I don't know. But do you also run around, tell people if you know something good about their relationship or partner? No. So if you know that girl, well, obviously as a friend, you will talk about it. And I don't think that's anything wrong with that. But remember, making sure that your information is accurate. If your information is not accurate, well, you just caused some people to have unnecessary concerns. So it's a sensitive issue, while it has its merits. At the same time, you don't know what goes on between them. Maybe they do know about it, maybe they don't. There is a certain responsibility there. At the same time, you're not, her mommy. She's adult and she has to figure it out. And the first notion of it is not that the guy is a murderer. Yeah, that I can understand. You got to go and, tell them if that's not public knowledge. It's not known to her. But otherwise, she will figure it out. The first notion of misbehaving, she would figure out what it is, I guess. And she would be able to, but it depends on your motivation. Yeah, there is a merit to it, but at the same time, has to be careful not to, cause unnecessary concern. Again, I'm assuming you meaning harsh words or bad manners and things like that, but if it's some physical violence and all that, yeah, of course, I guess that would be something you would offer your friend as an information. But again, figure out if she knows something herself and maybe enhance the information. Because such things are usually public knowledge anyhow. It's not like the only person knows is you. How could you know and she doesn't know? She's closer to the guy. So, Avria says, good morning, Mehran. Listening here from Philippines. Hello, Avria. Good to see you. Lottie says, a violent man can change. I don't understand. A violent man can change. Can a violent man change? But should future people not be warned of a violent person's past? Violent people can be charming and appear kind. I would not feel it is good for people if they are violent. Yes, of course, it's not good for anybody to behave violently. Of course, that goes without saying. Except that they should let future people make an informed decision. Yes, of course. If that is a friend that's close to you and you know for sure about that information and it comes up, well, obviously, if that has been that violent, it's been having police records and it's a public knowledge. And if it's a violent that you've heard, well, it's something you've heard. If you're sure of it, obviously will help your friend to know about it, to make an informed decision. Lati says part of making amend is expecting responsibility not only to the past but also to the future consequences of your actions. Yes, yes, yes. But remember, your information should be accurate. You can't just rely on something you heard and then you go and start creating something that maybe was just a rumor. And if that is a situation, that there would be a public record of it. And then everybody would know, not just you. But if it's something that you feel your friend should know, well then it's between you and her. You can maybe help her to know more if that is something that you're sure of. Mike says, note for Lottie. Okay, I see. Mike says, thank you for your explanation and look forward to getting your books. Thank you, Mike. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Excalibur says, hey, okay. Now, looks like we hit all the questions here. Again, we got to the end of the questions, and I'm delighted that we did that in 1 hour and 35 minutes today. Please make sure you like the live stream, and if it has been helpful to you, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. And if you will kindly share the videos that you like from the channel on your social media, help us to grow and get more subscribers and reach more people around the world and help more people around the world. I thank you very much for your time to allow me to share this time with you, and you shared it with me. And I look forward to talk to you again. In the meantime, be good to yourself, to the others, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.